So the Galaxy S27 Ultra is getting this massive upgrade, but at the same time, Samsung may be changing the entire way it separates a lineup. Plus, we've got 5 more updates on this phone, so let's get into it. What's up, guys? Mr. Funova here. First up, according to reports out of South Korea, Samsung is planning to use the new UFS 5.0 storage standard on the Galaxy S27 Ultra. And honestly, this is a pretty big deal because UFS 5.0 is expected to be almost twice as fast as UFS 4 or 4.1 storage we currently have on the S26 Ultra. And you're actually going to notice that speed everywhere. Apps should open faster, games should load quicker, multitasking should feel snappier, even the camera should benefit, because when you're taking higher megapixel photos, the phone has to process a huge amount of data instantly. Faster storage means it can do that much quicker. But where you'll probably notice the biggest difference is with AI. Features like photo editing, live translation, video generation, object removal, and whatever other AI buzzword Samsung invents by next year all rely on moving massive amounts of data around quickly. So if the storage is faster, those features should happen faster too, with less waiting. And of course, file transfers should also be much quicker. But here's the weird part. Samsung may not bring this upgrade to every S27 model. Right now, the reports say only the S27 Ultra and the new S27 Pro are expected to get this, while the regular S27 and S27 Plus will likely stick with the current storage. And that's important because it looks like Samsung is planning to separate the lineup more than ever before. For years, Samsung used the same Snapdragon processor across all of its flagship phones. It didn't matter if you bought the base model, the Plus, or the Ultra, they all got the same chip. But that could change with the S27 lineup, because Qualcomm is reportedly working on 2 versions of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6. There will be a regular version and a more powerful Pro version. Now, both chips are still expected to be based on the same 2-nanometer process and use the same overall architecture, but the Pro will have a stronger GPU, more graphics memory, more cache, and support for faster LPDDR6 RAM. So no, this is not going to be some massive difference where the regular chip suddenly becomes slow, but there will be a difference, which means the regular S27 and S27 Plus could use the standard Snapdragon chip, while the S27 Pro and S27 Ultra get the better Pro version. Basically, Samsung may finally be doing what Apple has been doing for years: buy the expensive phone, get the better chip. Now, if you didn't know already, Samsung is expected to introduce a new Pro model with the S27 lineup. And this Pro version will basically have almost everything the Ultra has, except for the S Pen. So in a way, the S27 Ultra becomes the new Galaxy Note, while the S27 Pro becomes what the Ultra used to be. Honestly, that probably makes more sense than the current lineup. Now, moving on to the cameras, the S27 Ultra is expected to get a new main camera, a new ultra-wide camera, and even a new front camera. The only camera that may stay mostly unchanged is the telephoto, but even there, Samsung could still make improvements. According to Ice Universe, Samsung is planning to once again increase the aperture on the 5x telephoto camera. Samsung already increased the aperture by around 37% on the S26 Ultra, and the S27 Ultra could go even further, which basically means better low-light zoom photos and videos, because the larger the aperture, the more light the camera can capture. The S27 Ultra will also use a new camera technology called Low-Fic, and the easiest way to explain it is this: it's basically HDR on steroids. Low-Fic should allow the camera to much more detail in both the bright and dark parts of a scene at the same time. So if you're taking a photo with a bright sky and a dark building, the sky shouldn't look blown out and the building shouldn't turn into a shadowy mess. If Samsung gets this right, it could end up being one of the biggest camera upgrades on the S27 Ultra. Now, let's talk about the battery. I've seen a bunch of reports claiming the S27 Ultra will finally use a silicon-carbon battery, but honestly, I don't buy that. The rumor comes from a tipster that doesn't even have a good track record. But at the same time, I do think Samsung is finally going to increase the battery capacity, because Samsung is already expected to raise the battery size on the Z Fold 8 to 5,000 milliamps, so there's a good chance the S27 Ultra gets a bump too. Maybe something like 5,300 milliamps. Samsung still likes staying below 5,500 milliamps for a single cell battery because of airline regulations, so a small increase seems much more realistic than jumping straight to 6,000 milliamps. Now, technically, Samsung could get around that by using a dual cell design, but whether they actually do it is another story. Also, Samsung is currently offering discounts on the S26 Ultra and Z Fold 7. If you want to check those out, the link is down in the description. Samsung has also added 15 brand new features in the upcoming One UI 9 with Android 17. So if you want to see everything that's coming, click the video on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.